Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so the Los Angeles Lakers got the biggest victory of the season, 133 to 129 in Milwaukee. Got the victory, man. I knew that there was a good chance that our team would play well because obviously we had a lot of opportunities to see ourselves play bad in certain ways. Then, of course, uh, you know, play against some teams that didn't really necessarily want to win games. Saw ourselves see the ball fall, saw ourselves get some W's, saw ourselves go through a few ebbs and flows of a season early on that, would have you feel ultimately as if you know who you are at this point. I guess is the best thing I can say from our team. For all the things that we've gone through, we know who we are, we know what we can do, we know what we can't do, we know all of our personnel, we know our plays at this point, and we know what we need to do to go into a game like this and be successful. So the question was, were we going to have the temperament to do it? We had made all the mistakes necessary as a team, seeing how our chemistry issues had messed us up, seeing how different various things that we had done that led to failure. We had seen everything we needed to see to know exactly who we are and what we need to do to go up against this Milwaukee Bucks team tonight. And I thought that our team as a whole took all of the data from everything we had been through, took all of the stuff that we had seen from ourselves, and we applied that data in focus tonight, executed our plan, leaned on the players we should lean on, and beat a team that we honestly had no business beating tonight. That's the God's honest truth. We had no business beating a Milwaukee Bucks team that was 15-5, who pretty much is a fully healthy team at this point with Chris Middleton coming back tonight. And Chris Middleton played well. I mean, for somebody who's coming back from an injury that has had him out from over 100 games, he came in and didn't skip a beat. And so with him coming in, strengthening their bench, strengthening their overall team, rather, I felt like it was even more impressive to see the Los Angeles Lakers get this victory. So let's just point out some numbers here. First of all, Anthony Davis, 44 points, a signature 44 for your boy BDL 44. I gotta give him a shout out for getting that number. 44 points, 3 blocks. I think he ended up with 10 rebounds, several assists. Just a fantastic night for him. LeBron James gave us 28 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds. Another excellent night for him shooting the ball. I think he ended up with 3-point shots. I just really loved the fact that he did not have no turnovers. AD had no turnovers. The team as a whole had 4 turnovers on the night. Russell Westbrook had no turnovers. Austin Reeves had no turnovers. It was a phenomenal night for the Los Angeles Lakers in a multitude of areas. We had, if I'm not mistaken, I want to get this right, I believe it was 70 points in the paint tonight. 70 points in the paint tonight on a Milwaukee Bucks team with Giannis Antetokounmpo fully healthy and not in foul trouble. This was by far the best game the Los Angeles Lakers have won. Maybe in 2 years, maybe 3 years, to be honest with you. This is a really, really serious victory for the Los Angeles Lakers. And it's not just that they won, it's how they won. It's that they took care of the basketball. It's that they did end up having the lead the majority of the game and did ultimately give the lead up, but to no fault of their own. The Bucks just flexed. Giannis did Giannis things. They kept it close. They played defense. They did what they needed to do to keep it close and get the lead. But ultimately, we kept our foot on the gas. We did not get deterred by a couple of highlight plays from Giannis blocking shots against AD and Bron. We did not get deterred by a couple of calls not going our way, for which we did not get and deserved nevertheless. We kept our foot on the gas. We took care of the basketball. We rebounded the basketball. We won the rebound in total by 2 tonight. Kept them at 10 offensive rebounds tonight, which I was very impressed by the fact that we were able to do that since they're a very good offensive rebounding team. And we just overall took it to them on their home floor with all of the focus in the world. And they played well enough, but not well enough to beat us when we don't turn the ball over and fully take care of what it is we're supposed to take care of. I was very, very happy at the fact that we paid heavy attention to our superstars tonight. You guys know I'm a strong proponent for getting role players involved, and my thing all season long is we're not seeing enough from everybody else. But if you listen to my pregame video today, I said it's about the main characters when you have a game like this. We can't win if we're leaning on Austin Reeves and other guys tonight. It has to be stars being stars and That's the only way we're going to overcome what Giannis brought to the table. And I thought that was exactly the game plan tonight. 27 shot attempts from both Anthony Davis and LeBron James tonight, and that is what I wanted to see. We didn't have to sugarcoat it. The only way we were beating this team is if AD and Bron played off one another and other guys played off of each other as well. And that is what we saw. Good offense tonight from top to bottom. And even though we had some issues early on with a guy like Lonnie Walker not being able to score in the first half, we kept the foot on the gas in regards to continuing to play him in the second half, and he got going. And when he started seeing a couple shots fall, that opened up things for us even more. So I was very encouraged by just some of the buttons that they pressed tonight. I love the effort from Patrick Beverley early on, looking for a shot, being intent on attacking. I love the fact that Austin Reeves was the guy who had the best plus-minus tonight with a plus 17, if I'm not mistaken, doing the little things. But we also did a good job of making sure we got away from guys, keeping fresh bodies on the floor constantly. We had a little bit of a scare out there with LeBron James. Chris Middleton fell on Bron's ankle and kind of twisted it. So I wonder if Bron will be available for the Washington game. I have my doubts in regards to that. But I do think ultimately him coming back and being able to finish out the game was a big sign. And us winning the game, I think, will be very good in regards to just overall everybody's sentiment. I think people will definitely feel good about being on this team going into a flight to Washington. So this is the best possible thing, you know. Obviously, we don't like getting too high or too low, but when you win a game like this, I think it's very, very, very important to take a couple seconds and appreciate it. We're not the greatest team in the world. We know we've underachieved in some areas, and a lot of the guys who played very well tonight are some of the guys we've talked about negatively, you know, and to see them all come together, play well tonight, play with one another, not get discouraged when things weren't going their way, and just continue to show effort on both sides of the floor. I just couldn't be more happy, you know. Guys played together tonight. Guys believed in one another tonight. Guys believed in the program tonight. Guys believed they could beat a team that they're probably not supposed to beat. And they did it because they wanted to succeed for Darvin Ham, I believe. And seeing him get a victory on that floor, it's everything, you know. We don't know what our ceiling is as a team. We don't know if we're going to end the season on a high note. But we know for a fact that we can circle this victory and say, we did that. We went into Milwaukee and we made sure that Darvin Ham walked away a victor. So I couldn't be more pleased with how everybody played tonight. Troy Brown's effort was phenomenal, starting the game, quick strikes. It's the type of game that we saw from Troy Brown when he first put on the Laker uniform, being effective shooting the ball. He looked like mini Paul George out there, and that is the type of confidence that I think he can develop into having every night. There's no reason why he can't get a quick strike three-point shot like he did tonight. There's no reason why he can't play defense and force the issue like he did tonight. Troy Brown showed way more upside tonight than he showed probably at any point putting on the uniform. And that is why I want to see him continue to get healthy, work on his conditioning, and just continue to listen to those coaches and take the roles that this team is giving him, because he's going to continue to get better. And as he does, he's going to be a heck of a two-way player for us. So I'm happy about him. Let's see. Wenyen Gabriel was excellent as usual. I tell you guys, I think we're a much better team with him, and we saw a lot of what went right out there. You just need that athleticism and strength and tenacity and overall, intent that he has on running the floor and getting involved in live ball situations, getting offensive rebounds and connecting on plays. He even hits three-point shots when you get him rhythmic passes. I mean, this is just a really, really good basketball player that has been evaluated as a role-playing scrubbish type of guy, when that's not at all what I see there. What I see there is somebody who can do a whole lot for me when I call his number, and somebody who doesn't really get tired. So if as far as I can tell, he's a double-double threat every night if you give him the ball and empower him to do that. And then on the other side, he makes things happen defensively. People don't score on him very well defensively. People don't really get around him very fast. He's quick from side to side, and he has excellent length that he uses very well. So it's one of those things where it's like, when you know a guy is hyper effective and things tend to just go right when he's on the floor, you got to just trust him and just play him. And that's exactly who Wenyen Gabriel is, and I think he was a big part of why we were having early success early on. I thought we put him on the floor with AD and Bron, just like I've been asking us to do, having a healthy dose of him and Thomas Bryant at times, who also played well in limited minutes. And we just saw size do what size does. And that's ultimately what it was necessary up against a team like this. And so that's what I like. Obviously, uh, much was said about how our guard play has been kind of rough with Dennis Schroeder, not being out there, kind of having issues. Well, he wasn't out there tonight. And I honestly think that was a good thing for our team because we didn't have him on the floor getting pushed around and ultimately messing up on defense. We leaned on Patrick Beverley in the right way, in terms of putting him on the floor for defensive purposes. And we saw lineups with him and Russell Westbrook that really worked. The tenacity that they both put on the floor, the intensity that they both have on the floor at the same time. They're not weak players out there. With respect to Dennis Schroeder, he's just not very strong physically. So what ends up happening is he gets pushed around as to where the other guards that we have, they really don't. Westbrook don't have that problem. Walker doesn't have that problem. Reeves doesn't have that problem. Like, he's really the only one. So with him removed from the lineup, you could totally see where the strength of our guards was never wavering at all, no matter who we put on the floor. And I think that's a very important thing for this basketball club against teams like this. So, it was just an overall fantastic game tonight. Russell Westbrook, 11 assists. Again, no turnovers. I just thought he was phenomenal. Even though he missed the first free throw that would have iced it, he made the second one that did. And so these are the type of things that you appreciate. You got the ultimate hustle play down the stretch of the basketball game, where Middleton had kind of fumbled the ball on the end, and Austin Reeves was in the scrum, Braun was in the scrum, and they were all able to ultimately get us a play down there to ice the game and down the stretch. And I just want to, give credit to Darvin Ham and all of the Lakers tonight for just how they played the fourth quarter. With the Milwaukee Bucks really making a press, momentum had been, more so put on their uniform. The crowd was going crazy. Giannis had made a block and dunks and all kinds of different stuff that would ultimately slump most of the shoulders of most teams going into that building. And we did not waver. We continued to keep the game plan what it needed to be. And as I suggested in a previous Lakers rant, LeBron James just let Anthony Davis be the number one overall player tonight. And they both were able to get their number of shots, but we were able to lean on Anthony Davis in ways that got us easy buckets. We were able to lean on Anthony Davis in ways that most nights we lean on LeBron James for three-point jumpers and a lot of plays that don't allow for a whole lot of movement. Tonight was the opposite. We let AD be the focus tonight, and then we were allowing LeBron James and Russell Westbrook to kind of make plays to him, and other players were ultimately playing around him. And we too saw what it is I suggested as well, which was allowing Anthony Davis to play make a little bit. So for some of the shots that LeBron James wants to take, he was still able to take those shots. But we were running things through AD, and AD was able to get assists from some of those plays. And that is how we need to do it. AD doesn't necessarily have to shoot the ball on every possession that we run through him. He can too play make for other people, and I think that that's a recipe for making sure that he stays involved in the fourth quarter. Let him play make, but make sure he's the one touching it. And so I thought we did a fantastic job of that tonight. Russell Westbrook, again, continuing to be intent on getting AD the ball as well, making plays for other players, just overall keeping the pace at a speed that's just a little too fast for the Bucks to keep up with most of the night. And I thought that LeBron James played well off of Russell Westbrook specifically. I really like how Russ was finding King James tonight. And if they can learn how to find some synergy together, it's all over with for any teams that want to face us. I'm telling you, the biggest problem, the most intense problem that the Lakers have is the fact that we cannot seem to play Russell Westbrook and LeBron James together. But if those two Hall of Famers find a way to be clicking at the same time like they were tonight, and then you got AD clicking like that tonight, and none of them are turning the ball over, yes, teams like the Bucks and anybody else is going home against this Lakers squad. Trade or no trade, we can keep our picks and still win. And that is the importance of what it is that we saw tonight. Jeanie Buss can walk away and say, I can invest in an Anthony Davis-led basketball team with LeBron James on it. That's what I walk away saying. As long as that's the pecking order. As long as what we saw tonight is what the guys are willing to give us every night. Defensively, the effort we saw and the intensity and the speed and the pace, that's what we need to see every night. The way that we're intent on rebounding the ball, that's what we need to see every night. The way we're intent on getting everybody involved and shooting the three-point shot fantastically well, That's what we need to see every night. 11 from a 27 from behind the arc. The Lakers shot 40-something%, I believe that is. Do the math for me, you guys. We shot very well from behind the arc tonight. We shot very well from the field as well. I think it was above 50% from the field. So all of the different things you want to see the Lakers do, they did it. They simply did it. And I think the reason why the Bucks had so many points is because they're that dang talented. It wasn't because we were messing up too much. We really weren't. And so that's why we were able to get the victory. You got to give credit to the other team. I thought they played very well. Bobby Portis, Jrue Holiday, Grayson Allen, Javon Carter. All of those guys played really good team defense together, and we still managed to score over 130 points on them. So, that's what it is. When Hall of Famers play together and believe in what they're doing and have a centered focus on just beating the other team. They rallied around their coach tonight, and I think it worked. And they can feel really good about this road trip, man. You can feel real good about this road trip. And this is one of those wins where you can legitimately say, we won the game. Unlike most of those victories that we have, where we beat teams that didn't want to win, and we stumbled into those victories and didn't really play well and all that. Nah, we did what we were supposed to do, and we got the victory because of it. Against a team that could win the championship. So if you've ever felt confident about this unit, this is the time to feel that. This is absolutely the time to feel that. And so that's what we want to say, man. Game ball goes to everybody. I'm chopping that game ball into 15 pieces or more, and I'm giving it to everybody because I don't think there was a single person out there who didn't do their part. You just simply love the fact that they played together, and that's what it's about. Anthony Davis, 44 points. LeBron James with the 11 assists, no turnovers. Russell Westbrook with 11 assists, no turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Austin Reeves with the plus 17, and I was very impressed with Lonnie Walker, given the fact that he was so cold, but he still managed to play defense, getting a key stop in a situation where I remember him doing so, getting a couple 3-point shots. It's one of those things where like everybody's playing well except for him, and you just get the feeling that coach should probably go in a different direction. Maybe you want to see him go with Austin Reeves, but he's just stayed with Lonnie Walker. And I thought it was smart because Lonnie was a more athletic player. Lonnie was the guy that's a little more sturdy in that situation, and we could afford to get away with it at the time. Try to get him back in the rhythm, try to see if we can use that matchup to our advantage, and it worked. That key fast break with LeBron James, and he was on the fast break together, and Bron was able to get him the ball, and he did LeBron James' signature dunk right there underneath LeBron James. That's exactly what I saw there. That was Bron's signature dunk right next to LeBron. So I felt that was a good tribute to his teammate there. And it really does instill the type of confidence in his athleticism that you can put him on the floor with Bron, you put him on the floor with Russell Westbrook, and have those type of dynamic plays that ultimately have very little room to fail. So I just love that, man. Our fast break was on point tonight. Our interior offense was incredible tonight. And the game plan was flawless. And I do want to acknowledge that we took advantage of that mid-range that I was pointing out. The Milwaukee Bucks tend to force teams into shooting mid-range shots, and I felt the Los Angeles Lakers did a healthy dose of using that as a jab here and there. And, I thought we ultimately took advantage. I love the spots that AD was choosing to shoot from. His jump shot was just wet all night long. Efficiency everywhere. Anything he was attempting was going in that first half particularly. Jump shots from the corner, 3-point shots, mid-range, inside, everything. And that's just exactly what it is that makes you feel good about what it is. You trade away a bunch of stuff and a bunch of picks that could turn out to be a bunch of Hall of Famers one day. You want the player that you traded to be capable of putting up this type of production on a night-to-night basis. And we're seeing it. We're simply seeing it, man. I don't know where he ranks on the power rankings. On the MVP ladder, I don't know. It's one of those situations where you got to consider the guy we went up against tonight. Got to consider a guy like Luka Doncic. Got to consider several other players that are playing well. Jason Tatum definitely comes to mind. Steph Curry's having a crazy season as well. There are a lot of guys who are really playing well. But if you look at Anthony Davis's numbers, you can clearly see he's amongst those guys. And so if he keeps this up for a full season and we pull ourselves out of this dump and become a real playoff team or contender somehow, I want to see his name involved in that top 5 MVP voting. I'm dead serious. The way he's playing right now, he's gonna need some nods now. It's time to start, especially after a win like this. Yeah, it's time to put his name in there for sure. So that's what I gotta say, man. And look, LeBron James, I don't know if I could be more happy with LeBron James tonight. I don't know that I can be, man. This is what I want from the king. This is it. This right here. And he still got his numbers, but he allowed others to succeed while succeeding, in the result is everybody's happy and we won. And you still got your numbers. We're still on the path to chase Kareem, only we're on a much better path because we can all root for it. We can all be happy with it because we're going to be winning while it's happening. And the key to that is this here. You do this 60 more times, and we're all going to be very pleased, man. And that's what it's about. That's the story for this team this year. It's taught me something. Don't give up on nobody. This team has taught me not to give up on nobody, and the team should have learned by now not to give up on itself. I don't know what this team is capable of doing because I'm a realistic person. But the reality is, the team that I think is probably going to win the championship is probably either this team or the Boston Celtics. The team we saw tonight or the Celtics are the two teams I think are probably favored to win, come out of the East. And we beat them tonight. If for some reason we are able to succeed in what it is our ultimate goal is, if we were to see this team, we got one leg up on them in terms of home court advantage. If for some reason we were able to get to the finals, there's a good chance that we might have home court advantage because of a win like this. And so these are the type of things you think about. You think about that when you consider what our ultimate goal is. And even though nobody actually thinks we're going to get there, even though no one actually, even the owner doesn't believe we're good enough to get there, at the end of the day, that's been the biggest flaw of us, is our lack of belief. It isn't the roster or anything else. The biggest mistake Laker Nation has made in regards to this roster is not believing in it. And tonight, we learned that lesson. Now, the key is for the roster itself to believe in itself, to never, ever hold its head again, or not fight for rebounds, or not fight on three-point shots and things of that nature. Because at the end of the day, if you believe you're a loser and do loser stuff, you're going to lose. But we saw tonight, we absolutely witnessed it tonight. When we do winner stuff, we can beat winning teams. And if you do that enough, you win the ring. It's that simple. You play like this tonight, the way the Lakers play tonight, every night, and we're NBA champions. And I ain't kidding. So that's what I wanted to acknowledge tonight. The Lakers played the best possible basketball, and I still think there were some things we could have did differently. There were possessions where we could have guarded better. There were possessions where we could have looked for one another a little more. But what are we chasing exactly? Perfection? Because that's what we were short of tonight. And you ain't hearing me complaining at all. In fact, this was the best game we've seen. And that's exactly how we're going to acknowledge it, man. Shout out to Darvin Ham going back to Milwaukee and getting a victory there. And Giannis Antetokounmpo, man, what an honorable player, you know. I looked and saw him, you know, after he had gotten a couple highlights, got blocked LeBron's shot. And LeBron glanced up at him, no gloating, nothing. No gloating. He just ran back down there. It's just a play, man. And that's why I have so much respect for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Speaking of respect, it's the Kobe minute, so we want to acknowledge, of course. But, you know, it's one of those things, man, Giannis. You know, it's just when you go into a guy's house, a lot of times we talk about gloating and all this dancing. We see our guys, sometimes we dance unnecessarily. It bites us in the backside in a game like Indy. And you just understand, like, the type of respect you want, it's the type of respect that Giannis has when you hear me speak like this about him. Not gloating, not going crazy because he blocked LeBron's shot. He knows where he stands in his career. He knows he should be secure in the fact that he's the leading guy in the league right now. He knows that, you know what I mean? He can overpower guys at this point. But there's no reason for him to act like he's in that position because he's in the position. There's no reason to be insecure in that position. And that's what I like about Giannis. I think he displayed a great deal of humility coming into his building. And although it felt good to get the victory, you ultimately felt like, you felt pleased that you were able to play against him tonight. And that's what it's about, man. So I'm happy we were able to win. And I'll definitely look at Giannis Antetokounmpo as somebody that we're going to have to face coming back into our building sometime very soon. And when we do, I'm pretty sure he's going to want to enact some revenge. My thought and prediction was that he would get over 42 points. He ended up with 40. Apples and oranges, man. No big deal. Definitely something that I feel like my prediction stayed intact, because needless to say, Giannis Antetokounmpo missed a couple free throws, and those were the 42. But Anthony Davis held me down with the 44, and that's ultimately why we were able to overcome them. I think, man, you have your superstars playing as well as ours did. Even if Giannis is going as crazy as he did, it's no way to beat us. It's just simply no way to beat us, man. And that's what a good Jrue Holiday on the floor, who was shooting the ball real well, playing defense as always. Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen, those guys all made their presence felt. Big Brook Lopez with the big block on who was it, AD? That was a phenomenal block, man. Just continuing to shoot the ball so very well from behind the arc as well. So, as you guys can see, I got all the respect in the world for the Milwaukee Bucks, and I'm happy. And I think that this is one of those circumstances where you can really circle this one and always look back on it. Anytime the Lakers ever hang their head, anytime they're ever not giving us effort, anytime they turn the ball over like crazy, or not having discipline from behind the arc, or anything that we do that is outside of our character, this is the benchmark for not only how well we can play, but for what doing the right things can do for you. Simply put. So that's what I got to say, man. I'm happy with the Los Angeles Lakers tonight, but we're going to put this game aside because we got another game we have to address very soon against the Washington Wizards. It's going to give us a whole new set of things to consider, and we can't be so high on this game that we forget that every win and every loss counts. So thank you for this win, Lakers. We're going to always remember this one, but we got to shift our focus and continue to stay on the path of winning on this road trip. And most importantly, staying healthy. If Bron needs to sit, that's okay, because we know we're running things through Anthony Davis. Even if they both have to sit, that's okay, because we know we got guys like Austin Reeves and all of these different players who can play team ball together. And that's ultimately what it is. Next man up if necessary. And I want to see more team play. We should be leaning on our role players a little more in those games, to see that they're able to get their rhythm and all that stuff, because we don't need to lean on our superstars like we did tonight every night. But for games like this is how it has to be. So I like the game plan, and every game plan needs to be unique for the matchups we see. And so that's what it is, Lakers. I'm super excited about what we saw tonight. The ceiling for this team is superb when they all are clicking at the same time and playing for one another. So great win, man. BDF 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.